2020.
What a f***ing year.
Hey boys, it's Will of DAGames, and just wanted to first say Merry Christmas to everybody around the world. I've already celebrated Christmas. It's actually Christmas today. I've already celebrated it yesterday with my family, and so I figured I had some time today. I'm wishing you all the best for the new year, and hopefully it'll be grand spanking, won't it? If it isn't, I'll slap you. Emotionally, not physically. That's not actually what is worse, physical or mental. One can heal, and I guess one can be scared. Anyway, speaking of all things confluted, 2020 has been a pretty crazy year overall, and it's important right now to make these sorts of videos to be thankful of the things that we did get, the good things. For starters, I'm thankful I'm not really drinking anything other than Costa coffee right now. It's crazy. I wanted to use this opportunity to make a really chill video about all the things that I'm personally thankful for of this year, a big reflection of the Diamond Armada ecosystem, and just the many people that I'm thankful for, and all the experiences I'm thankful for, and what I'm looking forward to in the future. Also, use the comment section below to be thankful for something good in your life. I want people to start spreading the joy, the love, the things that we can be hopeful for next year. Just kick things into gear. That rhymed. What a crime. Oh, fuck. So you'd think, for those who are, like, probably more a fan of the bigger popular things on the channel, you probably think that we haven't actually been working a lot this year, but I actually decided to put everything that I had been making in a whole image. Need I say any more? When you put it all in one image like that, it's absolutely crazy how many things we've done this year, and so many people have skimmed over it. So I personally wanted to recap and figure out all the good things that we've done, starting from January up to December, the life of Will in 2020. And boy howdy is it a roller coaster. Strap in. So obviously at the beginning, it's just really DAGames stuff. Obviously DW Daily was going for the time that it was, and we had all our daily videos going out. But we also had DAGames with nerdcore music, starting with the Diva song, Sky High. That was actually made a year prior, but there was a lot of Blizzard stuff going down, so we didn't think that was an appropriate time. But we had nothing to really bounce in with this year, so I was like, let's just bounce in with this. But following after that, we had a big album called Flash Drive. Now, for those of you who are completely unaware of Flash Drive is an album made in 5 days. The challenge was to make 7 songs in a week, or songs made in an hour. Both of which actually worked, and with the 7-day guideline, we actually finished it in 5 days. I say we as I was the one who made the album. I finished it. It was a love letter to my fiance, who it was coming up to our 1-year anniversary, and we were trying to figure out all the ways that we can mentally attach with each other. So we used colors in the rainbow. What color suits our emotion, and it helps us communicate things. And in result, it would help you guys figure that out too. Some people think red is angry or strawberries. Some people think blue is sad or the sky. Some people see green as grass or the sewage system. The world's your oyster with colors, and you get to really pick that of your own choosing. That's why I made the album there. And we keep growing and growing in that quality over the years, and we're only getting better. Hence comes in with Can't Hold Me Back, the Sonic song. This was actually the first song that me and Chris collaborated with. If you know him, Aficionados, Chris is my good buddy, longest friend of 13 years, and is kind of half the whole reason this channel is even manageable in the first place. I mean, I'm a manager, I'm good at what I do as well, but he's helped out so much with that. But we love Sonic, and the movie came out, and he wanted to do something in the form of a song. So we came together, collaborated ideas, and 50-50. It just worked. We had this idea that we had like a synth and guitar battle, like a solo battle, a face-off. And we thought, what better way to have somebody in than Family Jules? Family Jules is incredibly talented, is such a swell guy to work with, and there's so much more that we plan to do in the future. I just hope that you guys get to check him out. If you've already checked him out, hey, you're on the right page with me. Then comes a game, Boris and the Dark Survival, which was the middle ground between Bendy and the Ink Machine and Bendy and the Dark Revival. It was a pastime game. Small little game with lots of replay value. It was definitely a really fun experience during that time. And so I made a song called I Am Me, which I honestly think is one of my favorite Bendy songs that I've ever done. Shortly during that period, I actually recorded a ton of videos to go away with. They were like vlog formats, kind of like this, but I guess, I don't know. Maybe it isn't so different after all. It was all easy content so I could actually go away. So we had daily videos on DW Daily, and we also had these vlogs come out every now and then to span through the whole time whilst I was on holiday. I got to spend a lot of good time with Sophie. I got to go to many places, see many awesome people. And then the pandemic hit. I think I got sick near the end of the holiday. I think I actually caught it at the very beginning of it, but I self-isolated in March just to kind of like get it all out of my system, get recovered, and I'm back on top. But obviously when I came back home, I was greeted to such a huge package. It was a big giant amplifier that I bought because I didn't want to use VSTs anymore for guitars. So I figured let's get a cabinet and a tube amp. and it was the best investment I ever made in my life. It went on to make songs like Hands of a Slayer. Like, that's my favorite Doom song and a guilty pleasure. And actually, interesting tidbit, I ordered a 6-string guitar, which I thought I ordered a 6-string guitar, but instead I ordered a 7-string one, which is there. Don't worry, it's not perched up by the sofa. There's actually a guitar stand. It just looks like it. I know a lot of musicians will probably be thinking right now, you careless bastard. But no, there is a stand. It's on a stand, don't worry. But with it, I guiltily got to make one of the most rip-roaring nerdcore songs we've done. Hands of a Slayer is one of my favorites. Still in March at this point, I wanted to do a big old remake of some of the old songs that we'd done. At the time, I thought, let's just be creative with the remakes. I'm kind of not in the mental mood to make brand new songs right now, especially for DAGames. So I thought, let's use the amplifier on something like Atomic Renegade, one of my favorite songs of 2015, and we just got to bring it back to life in a much heavier way. I'm super thankful for it. Now, if you remember last year, March was the shitpost month. And you all know that because the Baldi's Basics song came out. That's still being shared today, and people are slowly remembering that was me. Zero regrets. It's a shitpost. No deeper level than that, really. So March is the big shitpost one. Lord knows if we'll still hold up to that next year, but for so far, that track record has stayed. And that's when we came out with F, the continuation of the small skit that we made in Kindergarten 2. Yeah, we do a lot of gameplay videos as well. Not a lot these days, because of COVID's not been great, but with what we had Kindergarten 2, and that was a continuation song. Another favorite. This year, I've had a fuck ton of favorites. And obviously, the big charity event that Kindly Beast set up for the Bendy and the Ink Machine Mega Mix album. Selection of content creators coming together and making their own special grand spanking new things for an album that people, if they donated, they would go straight to charity and they would get a copy of the album. My introduction to that was Build Our Machine rock version. Again, I don't need to say much anymore. The amplifier has spoke for itself. I wanted to use it. Let me use it. And I love Build Our Machine, and people like seeing rock versions of things that I do, so I thought, hey, let's see if we can do it. And we did. People absolutely loved it, which was great. On top of that, this was actually the first year where we did charity streams ever in our lives. I've always been hesitant about doing charity streams because I never thought they'd turn out well, or there'd be more problems than necessary, or maybe people just didn't want to be with me. That's something that I always felt like in the industry. I always felt like I was extremely alone, and I thought, people were collaborating together on these streams, and I was never gonna have that because I felt lonely. Turns out I'm just a fucking recluse, and the stream went incredibly well. We got a large amount of money donated to the charity, which was super cool. But I know during that time we still had Iris, and that was put on the side for a bit so I could just focus it because we never had a third album announced. We were never thinking about a third album. But as soon as it started getting to the end of April, that was when my mental state was going a bit weird. I started realizing everybody was dealing with a lot of different domestic shit inside their households, and also the feeling of claustrophobia based on being in lockdown. So I wanted to make an Iris song. I didn't think it was right to make a DAGames song based on it. So I made an Iris song, Rock Bottom, which started the cogworks into every other Iris song, and then eventually the creation of Dawn of the Demetrix, our third album, which isn't out yet. And it has been codenamed Dawn of the Demetrix. I don't imagine it changing, but for now, we have all that time for it to change, so we'll see about it. But I started rip-roaring with a ton of ideas for Iris, and it was kind of a mental struggle for me. During the first period of the pandemic, I'd actually lost quite a few family members, and I still hold on to them today. I never really got a chance to grieve. I could never go to their funeral. I couldn't have a proper send-off. It wasn't a very happy time. The whole family was distraught, and I remember the song Plague, we made Plague, is actually the most different kind of song we've made for Iris, and I remember why. I was not myself that day. I don't actually remember recording the song. I don't remember it, but I know I slept. I woke up and I played it, and I was more terrified than anything that I'd made something like this. I ended up recording at least 6 acoustic guitar tracks. It turned into something heavier and crazier, and it helps that we stayed consistent, so it sounds like, it came from me. There was a style to it, but it was different in a lot of special ways. Yeah, that song came out, and then it just kept going and going and going. We kept making creations, and after the concert, because we announced that there was going to be a novel. Who'd have thought that big universe was going to come in? I have a solo channel that I'll probably do a Q&A on this stuff in the future if you're interested. I decided to take a hiatus after the big concert, our first concert from home, which was super crazy. Everybody made it really enjoyable, and that was really cool. We had a few perks in the Discord server as well, and a few pieces of merchandise that people could get. It was cool. But I decided DAGames was going to go on a hiatus. It was high time that I actually spent time away from the biggest thing and the most demanding thing, so I could focus on clearing my head and focusing mentally on how to improve from all the years ago. Because believe it or not, during 2015 to 2017 was probably some of the blurriest years of my life. Hell, even 2018, I was not myself. I just remember most of those years being an absolute haze. I was surrounded by horrible influences throughout most of that time. I transitioned from one big community on Newgrounds to YouTube, which is already big in and of itself. And obviously I got given a label. So that wasn't fun at all. That's not who I wanted to be, and I'm so ashamed that even those years happened with those things in it. And that's why the hiatus was super important to me, because I had to get a lot of this stuff off my chest. I needed to make sure that I am clear of conscience and I can move on maturely. And, you know, all those years, I'd just like to forget. Not the good stuff. I mean, obviously, when the good stuff happened, there's a few memorable things like going to conventions. They were always fun. But some of the personal quarter grounds, I just really don't want to remember. And that's why Iris is here. You know, I used all of these songs to demonstrate sort of maybe what I feel, but really delving into the super important mental inhabitants, which ended up creating things like the Motha Hive and Biobond. But you guys won't see that properly until next year. But we wanted to expand. We wanted to go into like fantasy places like Dungeons and Dragons and novels for novel enthusiasts. And who'd have thought that like Jaws of Dawn would be that thing? We even made a whole soundtrack dedicated to it, which some of it was hindsight made for Dawn of the Demetrix. But we had 110 applicants apply for the campaign, and we brought in 20 people. 20 people came together in this big giant campaign. It's actually on our channel. You can check that out whenever you want. And it became one of the most memorable experiences of 2020 overall. All of these songs that came out, all of the big campaign that came out for Iris was just unbelievable. And strangely enough, during that time, we were trying to get DW Daily sort of wrapped around April, May time, and we ended up just looking back and thinking we can't do that formula with this pandemic at the moment. And it sucked, really. I felt really shit because I wanted to keep going, but it was clear we needed to kind of find a new avenue that works, that makes sense. So DW Daily was put on hiatus, and hopefully coming back next year, we get to do more things with that. But because of that, obviously you know my mate Dexter Manning. You all know him from Sanity Not Included, and If Undertale was realistic, and If Sonic Adventure 2 was realistic, and all the If Hello Neighbor was realistic. The realistic series. Well, me and him bounced off quite a lot of ideas, and we decided we wanted to do an animation channel. I've been an animator for 20 years of my life. I just haven't had time to do any of animation. So we figured let's just take this into a different stream and do our favorite thing. And honestly, yeah, Bantermation became one of my favorite things to do in my life. Since then, we've got such a backlog of animations, and we're still going. There's still one more video to come out. I think as of recording this video, it's tomorrow, which is Shadow the Hedgehog. Gives you a good time frame of when this was. I mean, you could just check the description, but who checks the description? And so far, I mean, it's small. It's a small little community. It's very small, but we hope to expand that in 2021. We're just happy to be able to do something like this. It's brought us closer together. We've, you know, got all these fresh faces that we've seen and met, you know, some that Dex has already known, some that I've been introduced to, and it's been wonderful. I'll be thanking all of these people later. But since then, we had a whole animated parody channel. We had, you know, things like Among Us, Fall Guys, Animal Crossing, Phasmophobia, and then we started doing stuff like Machinabants. It's a spiritual successor to Sanity Not Included, and I'm not gonna lie, I was nervous about it. Sanity Not Included has a legacy audience, you know, especially in a time era where it started getting worse and worse, apparently. And, you know, another new person to do something like this alongside Dex, I could have just plummeted that entire name to the ground. And no, we didn't. It's so weird. I looked up to Dex when I was younger as well, and it's so bizarre to be able to work alongside him, but we've become bros. I love that to pieces. If you want me to get anything done in the industry of YouTube, I gotta have fun with it. There is no ifs, ands, or buts. I don't do things because, oh, it could algorithmically work. That is a side piece to something that I would already enjoy. So all of these IPs, despite their growth being so small compared to DAGames overall, they're fun to do, and that's why I'll always have much more joy in them. And yeah, I'll have shitty days where I'll wish they were doing better, but they're like blips for an hour, and then I just get back into it anyway. Like, oh, I've had a shit time. Anyway, I'm sure that's what all people do, really. So doing all of that stuff, I decided, okay, I've got all of these IPs ready, but you know what? I've spent a lot of time away from DAGames. I want to come back to it and just maybe give it some final spin. So throughout that, we started, Among Us came out. Such a huge game that came from something so minimalistic. And in 2018, this game took 2 years to really take off. And hey, I mean, 2 years is better than never. It'll be a couple of years before people realize No Man's Sky's actually gotten better, don't worry. But Among Us came out, and I was playing a lot of games with a lot of people, entering other people's streams, bringing myself closer together with so many familiar faces, really brought us closer. I couldn't be more thankful for that. It was amazing. But with it, I always wanted to make a Nerdcore song again, try to do something for the end of the year. And I had this idea for Ambush, but I didn't like the idea at first. I thought it was very bare bones. I didn't have much to it. And it's another one of those projects where the team was like, now hold on, you got something here. So thank them for this, the fact that it exists still. I could have scrapped it. But because of it, this was actually a project that we all finally came to. This was the first big project that we'd all come together for since so long ago. We got to connect. That was cool. I know Diamond in the Rough was actually one of those that we came together with. But still, like, just all the team coming together, Ambush. I remember that I had to make the animatic for it at the beginning. Well, it's not that I had to, I wanted to. Yeah. If you all know the shitty Motha Hive meme that goes on in the Iris community, bless you for knowing it. Then I also made a shitty variant for Ambush called Shitty Ambush. It was the animatic to what people would be going alongside to make the drawings clearer, brighter, cleaner, and would also be the way that motion happens. It's like a storyboard. If you all know animatics, DAGames Animated is a good example. It's animatics. So I went into my animation room with my Razor Blade Studio Edition and my Wacom Cintiq, the big thing, and just started doodling for random. It wasn't meant to be good, it's just, yeah, here's the framework, this is how I'd like it to go. And, Keyframe and Kai Wolf came together and started illustrating a lot of the things, and all the composition work was done by Keyframe. We had Sean on typography once again, and obviously Christian Oblivion Fall with the cool dance that you see, which was directed by myself. I had the direction involved, but he amplified it, which was incredible to see. Overall, Chris was overseeing this entire thing, making sure everybody was doing what they needed to do. It was a bit of a kerfuffle, but we got it out. And we were just thankful to get it out, and people are enjoying it the way that they are. It's unique. It's something that nobody else has done in the Among Us scene. And, that's what we wanted to do. It's not about being better or worse. It was always about being different. But different seems to have worked in our favor, so that was great. Then to top it all off, the final thing that we did this year, the DA Thankmas stream. If you all know, Jacksepticeye made a big, giant campaign like he did at the beginning of the year, Hope from Home. He made Thankmas. And so I wanted to make the most of it, We had Uno, Phasmophobia, Among Us, some Rage games, Jackbox. And I know that this was our big introduction to Super Among Us Party. It's Among Us meets Super Mario Party in a very crazy way. We did 2 big rounds of that. They were fun. One proximity chat, one not. And it was so cool. I'd like to actually condense some of the best moments in those streams and put out some videos next year at the beginning. For those of you who haven't seen it, yeah, it's all there. One thing I will criticize myself over, my mic was so compressed. But we raised a lot of money for that as well, and it was so thankful. Plus, people got to see the Until Dawn remakes tease, which was really fun to show. That was fun. Bear in mind, that's probably bare bones too, as next year I'll probably want to refresh. Overall, this year has been nuts, and putting it all out in one image like that, 4 singles, 1 album, a soundtrack for Donna Dimitrix, and a 5-hour D&D campaign for Iris. 8 songs and 1 album from DAGames, 2 charity streams, and 1 concert. We've got 6 animations, and we've done even more to set ourselves through January and February with 1 machinima episode and several more animations to come. We did 106 videos and streams for DW Daily, and of course my solo channel at the end, which is there for whenever I want to do a solo Q&As or some behind the scenes stuff if there ever is any. All of this has probably been the busiest year, the most expensive year, but the most enjoyable year in the creative scene. And that honestly wouldn't be possible without all the people along the journey. First of all, I'm gonna go from Iris up to Will. Well, I don't need to thank myself. That's but Iris, I want to thank Steel so very much for being the artist that you are. You are super talented. You're incredibly patient, so kind, so humble. And I really can't wait to do more of you in the future, because what you've got for Iris has really expanded the universe. You've helped me out so much. Thank you for that. I also want to take the time to thank all the people who took part in the Jaws of Dawn campaign. The 20 people who were selected, you know who you are. I love you very much. Thank you for being a part of it and making it such a special night, and abiding by what we wanted, which was, super important. Really appreciate that. And of course, the audience for believing in us, It means a lot. And that's Iris, really. I want to go on to DAGames and thank everybody who's been a part of that, especially the crew overall. Starting with Chris, Aficionados Chris. You've been one of my best friends for all of these years, and you've kept this grounded so well. And I can't wait to do more things in the future with you. You've been a bro from another mofo. Don't at me, bro. I can't wait to play more games with you in the future as well, and all of this cool stuff. Hopefully I can't wait to do more of you in the future, like play games and maybe make a few songs. We'll see about that. Obviously, I want to thank Sean Webby, Cosmic Keyframe, Oblivion Fall, and Kai Wolf for, just kicking up to gear this year has been absolutely mental. And you're some of the best friends that I've ever had. You're my favorites. I'm glad to always be around you guys. You've kept me grounded. You're solely responsible for helping my mental health grow and be more mature and concise. You've dealt with my bullshit for so long, all of you, and you've helped me become the person I am today. I've got a clear conscience because of you guys, and I can't thank you enough for that. While we're on about calling names here, not just the DA crew, but people in the Aficionados Chris multiplex showroom, some of my greatest friends. We have all sorts of faces, like Keyframe, obviously, Glitchy Bits, we've got Inky, Michael Edwards, we've got Oblivion Fall, Ace, Ben, Agent B. Smith, Blazing Phoenix, Four Eyes, Donatello, Golden Fox, Julio, Victor McKnight, Zeranizarak, Aurora, Chi-Chi, Chloe, Coda, Dylan, Lala, Mr. Phoenix, Ruby. The list goes on and on and on, but all of you guys in there, you're also the reason I'm mentally sane today, so thank you. Then the moderators as well, who've been helping the fan server out. You guys have gone through trials and tribulations yourself, but you're wonderful. I'm so happy to have you guys. You've had your morals questioned, you've had your trials and tribulations, you've been manipulated in a few ways. It's been hard for us, but we pummeled through strong this year, and can't wait to have you guys in the future. And all the collaborations that we do as well. Everybody who's collaborated in our stuff, again, can't count my blessings enough. Thank you very much. Now, Bantermation. There's obviously a lot to be thankful for the creation of this. First off, thanks for listening to my most popular music. That's what actually funded this. But overall, my business partner Dex in all of this, Dexter Manning, I've grown close with him over these years, and I could consider him one of my closest friends now. We're bros. We work together so well on this, and I cannot wait for what we do in the future. Thanks for keeping me mentally stable with your good old logic over these years. You got a very mature brain on you. Without the dick and the teat. But then also the animators who have been a part of Bantermation as well. We have people who haven't even had their animations shown on the channel, which we've had stuff finished, but we've got a schedule, got to meet by it. But you've seen some of it, and I want to go through all the animators who are taking part in this right now. We have Jake Hat, who's doing Hello Neighbor. We have Mickey, who's done Dead by Daylight. Morrow, who we just got on, who's doing Sonic Forces. Look forward to that one. Rare Kirby, who did work on Animal Crossing, and you can see that on the channel now, and is currently working on Mario Sunshine. Very fun fun lad. Sam RB Draws, who previously did Minecraft Boomer vs. Zoomer, which isn't out yet, and is also doing Spider-Man Miles Morales. Cisco Link, who's doing Super Mario Galaxy. Alexander, who's doing the Halo Infinite and Cuphead parodies. Victory Summary, you know him, you love him. He's actually worked on the Fall Guys parody and is about to have, I believe tomorrow, as of recording this, the Shadow the Hedgehog parody. And in the future, you will see the Doom Eternal parody from him. Super talented guy. And finally, Zach Dude. I mean, he's been responsible for quite a lot of the animations that you've seen on the channel so far. You've seen Phasmophobia, and you've seen the Among Us cartoon. There's another one that he worked on with me, but that will be next year as well. And he's currently working on Pokemon Sword and Shield. He's an insanely fun guy, very fun to be around, very talented, very efficient. All of these guys work in their arsenal together, and it's just, I'm just so thankful to have you guys trust us enough to come through with this, and thank you for being on the journey. I can't wait to have more journeys like that in the future. You're cool. Certified cool. I mean, I'm a dad, I can't really call something cool anymore, but take whatever you can. And obviously everybody who's been, you know, showing interest, we hope to have more animators in the future. And we hope to be able to be more flexible in the future as days go on. It's a small community, very small, but we're thankful for those people in the community, and hopefully we get to do more in the future. Just keep growing, that's what we want. Obviously all the close friends I've mentioned, even the, you know, what can I say, the lads, if anything, 8-Bit Gaming, Darko, Baz, Nathan Games, Razbowski, and other significant others of the lads. Like, we've all sort of connected at one point or another, doing cool things. This year and many other years have been rough, and they get rougher each time, but we strive through together, and we somehow managed to make it to the very end. There's no way I could ever say how thankful I am. It has to be shown, and legit, I want to. Next year, Alton Towers. I'm not booking it again. We'll fucking do it. Let's fucking do it. I swear I could cry already. I'm not even there. Also, I want to give a massive thank you to a particular server, the Hyuk server. You know who you are. All of you wonderful folks in there, all the musicians that I've met over the years, and recently gotten to talk to this year. You all know who you are. You've kept this grounded too. You've listened to some of my bullshit. I've listened to some of yours. We've had some meme times. We've had watching Sims do whatever. Made memes, embraced memes, had some collabs. You know, it's been wonderful. Like, you guys are super cool as well, and I can't wait to see what we get to do in the future. I'm sorry, I'm excited about the future. Like, this year was creative, it was big, it was good enough, it was fast, but we can do better next year, and all of these things that we went through are going to show that next year. So again, thank you all. Even you guys who are watching right now, if you made it this far, Jesus fucking Christ, you're a noble person. You have my full grats. But otherwise, yeah, like, I've got so much to be thankful for. And of course, my family at home, my mom, my little brother, my big brother, who is now an uncle, actually. I am now a certified Uncle Nobbed, and I'm fucking happy about that. And also my daughter, you know, speaking of the little ones, I have my kid who's turned 10 last month. She is now 10 years old, and what a crazy 10 years it's been. I'm so thankful to have you in my life, despite how hard it's been, you know, meeting each other because of the pandemic. You've been doing us all proud. You're super talented, super wonderful, and when I get to see you is one of the biggest heart melts I get, so keep doing great. And finally, I also want to give thanks to my loving partner in crime, Sophia, aka New Trash. It's been absolutely tough this year on both of us, given long distance has been crazy, but through all our trials and tribulations, and believe me, a lot of fire in that trial and tribulation, we've pulled through to the very end, and we've found some things that brought us even closer, and hopefully we can enjoy things next year like we did at the beginning of this year, just on a grander level. Can't wait to have you on my journey. Thank you very much. I love you. Overall, I mean, I have so many more people to be thankful for, whether it's people on the streets, whether it's people who've passed by in DMs, all these things. I've got so much to be thankful for, but I'm afraid that's it this time. 2020 has been a hugely productive year, and when you lay it all out in one big image, I mean, that just says it all. Now we've got the IPs. Let's just make stuff in those IPs next year and just make it expansive. DAGames will be hopefully returning back to normal soon. Iris will have its next album done and a variation of Jaws of Dawn. Weekly videos from Bantermation spanning through the entire year. And DW Daily we hope to bring back when this whole pandemic is finished. And of course my solo channel. I didn't talk about my solo channel too much because it's not been a massive part of the year. It just means it's a solo project for me. If I ever want to, it's my safe space. It's my home. I get to like go there and it's a Q&A place or behind the scenes. So it's all there, but whatever. All of these things are possible for the future. And I can't wait for you to be there. Otherwise, thank you for watching this far. And again, remember to put down in the comments below if you've made it this far. I have to reiterate your things you're thankful for this year or things you're looking forward to next year. Try not to be too cynical and too passive. Like, you should probably be a lot nicer, especially of all days like this. If you got nothing, usually I go, if you've got nothing nice to say, don't say anything at all. Maybe do that. I'd rather the comment section be a lot more wholesome this time.
So don't fuck it up.
Already, that's a death sentence. Anyway, guys, that's it for me. Anyway, I gotta get going. That is it for me this year. You'll see more of me next year. Thank you so much for watching through 2020. And here's to 2021. Love you guys. Peace out!